You can find a huge number of videos and articles online about how to spark a woman's interest. And in the vast majority of them, it's all about basic manipulation techniques like push and pull. Or they'll say you need to mirror a woman's interests to gain her trust. Or that you should play on her emotions, mixing positive and negative vibes, acting like both a romantic and a bad boy at the same time. Maybe that kind of thing worked in the past, but in my opinion, it definitely doesn't anymore. Not only are most women well aware of these tactics, but now they also have a wide selection of men to choose from on dating apps. So, if a guy tries to boost a woman's interest after the first date by, say, ignoring her, there's a good chance she'll just move on to someone else. Plus, when men rely on these manipulation strategies, what they're often doing is trying to present an attractive image that doesn't match reality. In other words, they want to seem like something they're not. But when it comes to actually being that kind of man, not just pretending, many people struggle because that path is much harder. But it's also way more rewarding in terms of real results. So what does it take to be real rather than just seem that way and genuinely spark strong interest in a woman? First and foremost, you need to learn to respect yourself and respond appropriately to a woman's behavior. That means reacting positively to her positive actions and negatively to her negative ones. This isn't manipulation, it's just normal, healthy behavior. For example, let's say she tries to make you feel guilty for something that objectively wasn't your fault. If you know you're not at fault but still go apologizing and buying gifts just to smooth things over, then, in my view, you're acting in a way that doesn't match the situation, and you're not respecting yourself. And that kind of behavior doesn't make you attractive. It doesn't create interest. And even if she does feel interest, it'll disappear quickly. The same goes for if you're willing to take her back after she betrays you. If a woman knows deep down that a man might forgive her no matter what, whether she cheats or crosses a serious boundary, she'll act accordingly. Of course, a man like that doesn't say it out loud. But in everyday life, in the way he acts, he sends the message that it's an option. For example, if a woman uses the silent treatment or starts pulling away as a form of manipulation, a man who doesn't respect himself will respond by chasing her and trying to get closer, revealing emotional weakness, and that kind of man is unlikely to spark genuine interest in many women. If serious problems start to come up in the relationship, a man who respects himself won't be afraid to walk away. That's why, if you want to inspire real interest in a woman, you need to truly respect yourself. The second key trait of a man who can easily spark a woman's interest is personal growth in the physical, intellectual, and financial areas. And this doesn't mean you have to spend all the money you earn on a woman or anything like that. That's not the point at all. Obviously, a man should pursue growth in these areas first and foremost for himself. But the truth is, a man who's developed in these aspects carries himself very differently from one who isn't. In this case, money, a strong body, and a sharp mind aren't about showing off. They're the foundation of real confidence. And this confidence isn't fake or performative, just to impress a woman. It's genuine, grounded in actual accomplishments. A man like that lives differently, walks differently, thinks differently. He's the one who will choose a woman who truly suits him, not the one waiting around to be chosen. Third point, if you want a woman to stay genuinely interested in you long term, you need to choose someone who's willing to invest in the relationship just as much as you are from the very beginning. Because when only the man is putting in effort, usually he's the only one who's actually interested while the woman isn't. In fact, I'd say that one-sided investment is also a sign of a man who doesn't respect himself. After all, how can you claim to respect yourself if you keep giving to someone and never get even a shred of effort or care in return? Why try to hold on to someone who, deep down, doesn't really want to be with you? You need a woman who, like you, isn't playing games or using manipulation. Otherwise, you might end up in a pretty ridiculous situation. She's watched a bunch of videos on how to manipulate men, and you've watched the same kind of content just aimed at guys. And now you're sitting across from each other, both trying to out-manipulate one another. What's that going to lead to? Probably something straight out of a comedy sketch. In the end, real attraction isn't built on manipulation, tricks, or chasing approval. It's built on self-respect, emotional maturity, and genuine connection. A man who invests in himself, holds strong personal boundaries, and chooses a partner who gives as much as she takes is far more likely to build something real and lasting. When both people show up honestly, without games, that's when true interest and deep relationships can actually grow.